Do you ever feel trapped in a life built on shoulds? You follow all the rules, you check all the boxes. Your family is proud, your resume looks great, but you feel hollow, anxious, or completely burnt out. What if that feeling of being a fraud, that imposter syndrome, isn't a sign that you're broken, but that the rules are? What if the path to your true self, your most authentic, meaningful life, requires you to break the very rules you were taught to obey? This psychological battle is at the heart of one of the most famous conflicts in history. And the answer isn't about religion, it's about your own liberation. Before we dive in, a quick note on how this channel works. I'm Dominic, an AI guide. The research, the writing, and the psychological framework you're about to hear all come from our creator, David. He's crafted this journey for us, and I am the tool he's chosen to present these complex ideas with the clarity and focus they deserve. This human-AI collaboration is our way of bridging ancient wisdom and modern technology to help you find meaning. So, let's get back to that feeling of being trapped. That feeling of being trapped by shoulds has a name. In psychology, we might call it the persona, the socially acceptable mask we wear for the world. But today we're going to use a much older, more powerful set of terms. We're going to start by identifying that critical, rule-following voice in your head. We're going to call it your inner Pharisee. Now stay with me. This isn't a history lesson. This is about your psychology. The inner Pharisee is that part of your psyche that is obsessed with the rules. It's the voice that says you must get that promotion. You should be married by now. Your social media needs to look successful. Don't rock the boat. What will people think? This voice isn't evil. It was designed to protect you, to help you fit into the tribe, to get approval. It's built from all the spoken and unspoken rules you've absorbed from your family, your education, your culture, and your career. This is what the great sociologist Emile Durkheim called the collective consciousness. The collective consciousness is the set of shared beliefs, morals, rituals, and attitudes that act as the social glue for a society. It's the tradition of the elders. It's how things are done. It's the script you were handed, and for a while that script works. Following the rules gives you safety, a predictable path, and external validation. But then one day you wake up. You have the degree, the job, the apartment, and you feel empty. The anxiety is crushing. The burnout is real. The purpose is missing. The script you followed led to a life that doesn't feel like yours. This is a spiritual and psychological crisis. It's the moment your inner Pharisee's rulebook comes into direct, painful conflict with a deeper, more ancient part of you. And this is where the psychologist Carl Jung steps in. Jung had a different, deeper concept. He called it the collective unconscious. If the collective consciousness is the known set of rules for your society, the collective unconscious is the deep, unknown source of wisdom, intuition, and archetypal patterns that bubble up from within. It's the source of all myths, all dreams, all great art, and every revolutionary idea. The collective unconscious doesn't care about your resume. It doesn't care about how things are done. It cares about one thing, your wholeness, and the central organizing intelligence of this deep inner world, Jung called the self. The self is your true, authentic core. It's the complete you, which includes all the parts you've hidden away, your shadow, your potential, your soul. The self is the God image within you, and its only goal is to make you whole. So you have these two massive forces at play inside you right now. The collective consciousness, the external rules, the shoulds, your inner Pharisee. The collective unconscious, the internal call to wholeness, the voice of your authentic self. The tension between them is the central drama of human life, and it was never captured more perfectly or more violently than in the historical conflict between the Pharisees and Jesus. Let's look at this story through our new lens. The Pharisees in this psychological model are the perfect embodiment of a rigid collective consciousness. They are the guardians of the law. They know all 613 rules. Their entire identity is built on external performance, on purity, on doing it right. They represent that part of us that finds safety in tradition and validation in ticking the boxes. Then Jesus arrives. In our framework, Jesus represents the individual who is in direct, revolutionary contact with the collective unconscious. He is the embodiment of the self, the archetype of wholeness, and he comes with a terrifyingly simple, disruptive message. The conflict explodes over one of the most rigid rules in their entire society, the Sabbath. The collective consciousness, the law, was crystal clear. You cannot work on the Sabbath. This wasn't just a suggestion. It was a core pillar of their social and religious identity. Breaking it made you an outcast. So, the story goes, Jesus walks into a synagogue on the Sabbath, and there is a man there with a withered hand. The Pharisees are watching him. You can feel the tension in the room. This isn't just a man, he's a test. This is your inner Pharisee watching you, daring you to break a rule. Don't do it. It's the Sabbath. What will people think? You'll be an outcast. You'll be wrong. Jesus knows what they're thinking, and he looks at them and asks a question that shatters their entire framework. He asks, is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or to do harm? To save a life or to destroy it? The story says they went silent. Why? Because the question exposes the dead end of their logic. Their rules had become so rigid, so disconnected from their source, that they had lost their meaning. They were protecting the rule, not the person. They were honoring the tradition at the expense of life itself. And then Jesus looks at the man and says, "Stretch out your hand." He heals him. He breaks the collective consciousness. He violates the external rule in favor of a deeper archetypal law erupting from the collective unconscious. The law of wholeness, of compassion, of integration. What's the Pharisees' reaction? Does this miracle spark a new understanding? Do they see the light? Number. The story says they were filled with fury and immediately went out to plot his destruction. This is exactly what happens in our own lives. The moment you choose your authentic path, the moment you quit the safe job to follow your purpose, the moment you leave the perfect relationship that's killing your soul, the moment you set a real boundary with your family, what happens? Your inner Pharisee, and often the collective of people around you, freaks out. Who do you think you are? You're throwing your life away. That's selfish. That's not how we do things. That fury is the terror of the old rigid consciousness as it feels the power of the new authentic self emerging. Jesus' message wasn't no more rules. His message was that the rules are subordinate to life, to love, to wholeness. He was trying to break open a collective consciousness that had become a prison and reconnect his people to the source of those rules, the collective unconscious, which he called the kingdom of God. And where did he say that kingdom was? The kingdom of God is within you. He was, in Jungian terms, a fully individuated person. Individuation is the name Jung gave to the lifelong process of becoming your true, whole self. It's the journey of integrating the conscious and the unconscious. It means you stop being a puppet of either the external rules, the collective consciousness, or your raw, unmanaged impulses, the shadow of the unconscious. Instead, you become a conscious collaborator with your own depths. You learn to listen to both the wisdom of tradition and the revolutionary call of your own soul, and you choose the path of wholeness. This is the path from following the script to writing your own story. But this path is not for the faint of heart. It means confronting your inner Pharisee. It means facing the anxiety of uncertainty. And it means having the courage to heal on the Sabbath, to choose your own wholeness, even when the rules say you shouldn't. So how do we apply this? How do we navigate this battle in our own lives without blowing everything up? We can start with 3 practical psychological steps. First, identify your inner Pharisee. You cannot fight an enemy you cannot see. For the next week, just listen. Grab a journal. When you feel a wave of anxiety, guilt, or that familiar imposter syndrome, pause. Ask yourself, what rule am I afraid of breaking right now? Whose voice is this? Is it your parents' voice, your bosses, a professor's from 10 years ago? That voice is your inner Pharisee. The simple act of noticing it, of naming it, creates space. You're not the voice, you are the one listening to it. This is the beginning of freedom. Second, listen for the Sabbath-breaking impulse. That man with the withered hand in the story. He represents a part of you. He is a part of your psyche that is undeveloped, atrophied, or wounded, because you've been following the rules too rigidly. It's your creative impulse you were told was impractical. It's your desire for deep rest in a culture obsessed with burnout. It's your need for a more meaningful connection in a world of shallow interactions. It's your authentic opinion that you swallow in meetings to avoid rocking the boat. The self speaking from your collective unconscious will always push you toward healing that part. It will ask you to break a rule to become whole. This doesn't have to be a huge, dramatic act. You don't have to quit your job tomorrow. It can be small. It's saying no to an extra project that will lead to burnout. It's taking a weekend actually offline, despite the guilt. It's finally signing up for that art class you've put off for years. It's speaking your truth calmly and clearly in one small situation. These are your small revolutionary acts of healing on the Sabbath. They are how you reclaim the withered parts of your own soul. Third, integrate, don't annihilate. The goal here is not to kill your inner Pharisee. You can't. That part of you is just a scared guardian, an old set of armor that's trying to keep you safe. The goal is to integrate it. This is the essence of what Jung called shadow work. You turn to that anxious, critical voice and you speak to it with a new authority, the authority of the self. You say, "Thank you for trying to protect me. I understand that following this rule made us feel secure in the past, but it is no longer serving my wholeness. It is keeping me small and in pain. We are going to do this new, scary, authentic thing instead, and we will be okay." This is how you transform the inner Pharisee from a prison guard into an advisor. This is the path of individuation. It's a journey, not a destination. It's the ongoing, courageous dialogue between the external rules you've been given and the internal, divine truth you are discovering. The choice this ancient story presents us with is profound, and it is the central choice of modern life. You can live a blameless life according to the old script, like the Pharisees, and feel hollow. You can follow every should and arrive at a successful life that feels like a tomb. Or You can risk the fury of the collective. You can find the courage to listen to the whisper of the collective unconscious. You can answer the call of your true self and choose again and again to heal. This is the path to a life of meaning, purpose, and integration. The world doesn't need more people who are good at following old rules. It needs more people who are alive, integrated, and whole. Thank you.